Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you to all our new subscribers. It's been like climbing like crazy. We're getting close to 4,000 subscribers, so we love you. We appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who's been sharing our videos and stuff. Today, we've got a new project coming your way. We got some new stuff from Diode Dynamics, so we're gonna show you today how to wire in their multicolor grill kit, along with, let me show you what else we got here. We did the accent lighting on the floors in the front and back, and we're going to show you how to wire this all up in the Wrangler using the factory supplied auxiliary switches. We're going to show you how to wire this up with the Diode Dynamics multicolor controller so that you can do things like that in the grill and on the floorboards. My good friend Carlton, he's my go-to lighting LED neons. He's been lighting up cars since way back when. He actually used to have a site called See Me Glow, and he had a Ford Explorer that had, I don't know, 600 neons in the Explorer. I don't know, it's probably what I'm exaggerating, but some sort of crazy number of neons in the Explorer. Nowadays, everything's LED, uses less power, easier to run, easier to mount. He'll be here giving us a hand. Just because he's the expert, why not call in a friend? So what I've already done, you can see I pulled the grill out already because I did need to remove the Diode Dynamics light bars because they were going to be in the way. So I removed those, got them out of the way, pulled the grill out, and we're going to have to see where we're going to try to mount the LED strips behind the grill so that we get the best glow. All right, so we're about ready to get started. I got Kim here finally, the man, Carlton.
He's that light guy.
So we're gonna get started. Carlton's gonna start wiring the backlights. This guy's wearing flip-flops in the middle of winter.
Because it's 40 degrees. It's
40 degrees in Chicago, calls for flip-flops. So we're gonna run the wires in the back here because we're gonna be mounting the LED strips underneath the rear seats. So Carlton's gonna get started on that. All right, so one thing we're gonna recommend is doing a quick test hookup so that this way, as you're hooking up all the LEDs and wiring things, you can test them and make sure that you're getting the glow the way you want. So what we did was taking the wiring harness that goes to the control unit. So we just took this and quickly plugged in the plug here, which is obvious. And then what we did is, coming off of that, you've got the plugs that have these two red connectors. For us, because we're not using their supplied on-off switch, we've got the built-in auxiliary switches, you don't need this red wire at all. All we needed was the black one here. So we just quickly connected it to one of the 15 amp wires that's supplied from Jeep with the auxiliary switches. So we got power to it. And then we just took from the other end of the wire here, we took the other black one and connected that to a ground right here on the Jeep. So this is not where we're going to be wiring this to. It's going to get wired in the footwell, but we're just using this so that we could test run using the extension cords, and then that way we're able to see how the lights are looking while we're running them and working. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a wire coat hanger to feed the driver's side here. We've got the LED strip that's going to get mounted up underneath the seat. And what we're going to do is we're going to feed it. There is a opening underneath the center console here. So we're going to use the wire coat hanger to try to just feed it through to the other side so that we can run these two LED strips in the back seat in series. Okay, so you can see this is the wire coat hanger running through underneath the center console that he taped to the end of the LED strip. So that was easy as can be. I mean, he just literally pushed it straight through and it came out, so we'll be able to connect it to the passenger side strip, and then we'll be able to run the connector up to the front of the vehicle. As you can see, it lights up pretty good under here. We got the lights on and everything, and you're seeing it. So what we're going to do is we were able to unhook this. So underneath there's some white clips that these hook to. He just unhooked them, and then you're able to flip this back out of the way so you get a better view of what's going on underneath the seat. and it looks like there's a bunch of stuff that you can actually zip tie to. So rather than using the adhesive backing, we're just going to zip tie it up into here to a couple different spots, and we want to make sure we leave a little excess wire so that when you move the seat back and forth, it's not going to get, you know, pulled taut. And then also we decided to run the wire underneath the track for the seat so that it doesn't end up getting pinched in any way. So you can kind of see now that it's focused, the strip of LEDs up underneath the driver's seat. But all we did was we found a nice spot where there's kind of like a tube along there where we were able to run it along and zip tie it in about 3 or 4 spots. And it is pretty long, the LED strip, so we did kind of curl it around towards the front. You can see it does give off a nice glow from the back and even along the side. And now we just got to go do the passenger side rear, and then we can work on the front. All right, so we're on the passenger side now, and because we still have these kind of pre-test wired, the passenger side one is lit up. Right now we disconnected the two from each other, so the driver's side is back, not lit. What he's going to do is he's going to connect these two in series, just plugging them one into the other. And as you can see, as he did that, this one lit back up. So those are two run together in series, so we don't need to use an extension wire to run up to the front. We'll have just one coming off of this wire going up towards the front of the vehicle. So on the passenger side here, you can see we've got the LEDs run along underneath here, and then you've got the excess from the wire. So we had to double it back to the center where we are going to connect it to an extension wire that will run up to the front of the vehicle where the main controller for this LED setup will be mounted. Okay, so this is the connector end that's going to be running towards the front of the vehicle, which is going to connect into the control box, which is the white little box that comes with the kit. What we've done is this is the extension, one of the extension pieces, and it does plug right into the plug that goes to the rear LEDs. So the one thing Carlton pointed out to me was that like this is a female end here and this was a female end here, but these white connectors actually have these male pieces that we were able to take out of one of the other ones and actually connect it in here so that we can connect these together, because I was really confused at first. And once we plug these in, I plugged them in and they didn't light up, so obviously I just got to flip this over to get the correct polarity. So now the rear ones are lit back up, and we are going to, as you can see, that came out really easily. So what we're going to actually do is electrical tape this so that this won't accidentally pull apart if you move the seat forward and back. So we're going to do that, tuck this, and we're going to run this all along here up to where we're going to try to mount the control box up underneath the dash here and get everything run up there. Okay, so this part was really easy to just kind of tuck this wire all the way along here from underneath the seat, and we've got it all the way up to here. So now we just got to figure out how we're going to feed it up through, and we'll probably go ahead and mount the control box now up in here and then run this up to it. If you're not sure how to remove the glove box, you can see how to do that in one of my previous videos when we did the red dash, and I'll link that in here for you so you can see how to take that out. But it's super easy. Takes 2 seconds to pop out the glove box, so it gives you a lot more room to work up in here. And the next thing we were trying to figure out is how we were going to get the LED wire across from the driver's side to the passenger side. And what we found real easily is this just unclips like a floor mat kind of clip. If you pop that off here, there is actually a nice open pass through directly through to the other side, and on the driver's side it has the same thing here, so that'll be super easy to feed through. So Carlton is electrical taping the end of the wire, the LED strip on the driver's side to our coat hanger that we straightened out already for the back, and he's going to use that to feed the wire through to me on this side here. Okay, so he's feeding it through, and you can see it's kind of coming out right here on the top, and I'm going to pull the excess through until he tells me to stop.
Yep, stop.
And that's all. That's through to the passenger side now. He's got the strip down there, which we'll go ahead and mount up. All right, so from the driver's side here, Carlton mounted up the LED strips underneath here. He used a little bit of the tape backing, and some zip ties. And you can see, if this focuses, where the end of the wire gets fed right through here to the other side. That's where you saw me pull it out on the other side with the clothes hanger, and worked out really nicely underneath here. You can see it gives it a nice even glow on the whole footwell. So okay, so now we're trying to figure out, we do need to get the one wire for the grill lights, which we haven't wired yet, but we are going to have to run one wire into the compartment, the passenger compartment of the vehicle, to plug into the control box. We're trying to figure out, obviously we would like to come through on the passenger side. There is a big wire cluster that comes through on the passenger side, but because the battery and the fuse box and everything is over there, looks like a real pain. We're gonna try to come through on the driver's side. Looks like there is a grommet. I'll try to show you in there, and we're gonna just use a Dremel to kind of drill a little hole through to get the wire. So Carlton just drilled through from the other side, and I can see the hole through. I can see clearly through already, Carlton. So he is on the inside using the Dremel coming through out, and right down in here you can see the light just came through. He's just making a little hole there, and we just need to make it big enough to get the little wire through. So he notched it. Hopefully that's enough. We'll run the wire through there, and then what we'll try to do is we will silicone it up so that no water or anything gets through from the engine compartment inside. Okay, so you can see that we have fed the extension wire through the grommet there. So in the driver footwell, you can see where the wire goes here, right up into the top left, nice and easy. That was really the easiest spot to get the wire through into the engine bay. Now we'll just take this and we're gonna run it down along the driver's side along here neatly, and we'll tuck it away and get it up to the grill here where we need it. Okay, so we've got the wire that we ran from the firewalls run up to the front here. We connected it into the first strand of LEDs that we're gonna go with here. And we're gonna kind of run this along underneath here and up this way and through, because we are gonna mount this strip of LEDs to the bottom of the radiator support here using the backing tape that came on here. And what I did was I already took some alcohol and kind of prepped the surface, cleaned it with some rubbing alcohol to make it clean. And now I can go ahead and make sure it's centered in here. So pull the backing off, and going to go ahead and start sticking from one side and work it across to the other. And then so we connected the top one to the end of the bottom strip, matching up the two arrows here so that they're correct. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this along the top here. We found that that's the best spot for things for this. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this off again. We did some test fitting ahead of time to make sure where we wanted this, and doing the top and the bottom seems to be the best rather than wrapping things around the sides or anything like that. So seemed to give us the best look, and I'll go ahead and just start to stick it. Just like we did on the bottom. So to go along with the double-sided tape, we're also going to put a couple of zip ties around the support here, just to make sure with the heat, hot and cold here in Chicago, you never know how the double-sided tape is going to hold up. So we're going to put a couple around the top and the bottom. Looks like on the top there's a nice little hole here in the middle that we can go around and through. So we're going to do one there and a couple other spots. So with the excess white wire that we had here, there's a little slot here that we decided to tuck it through to here. And we're gonna take some more zip ties and clean it up here. And I think we'll probably take a zip tie and maybe zip this right to this bar here. And then we'll probably do the same exact thing on the other side. Just tuck this in there and zip tie it up, make it nice and clean. With the brain box here, or the control box, you've got the connector that connects into there. But so go ahead and disconnect it again, Carlton. I'll take the controller. We don't need that for now. So on this red wire, we're not gonna need, because that's for if you're using the Diode Dynamics supplied switches, but we're not gonna use theirs because we've got the auxiliary switch. So Carlton's gonna go ahead and just pull it apart from the black wires. So all we need left is this connector that connects to the control box, which has basically two wires coming out of it. One that has this connector, that's gonna be the actual power one, and then the other one is going to be our ground wire. So Carlton is adding the supplied 3M double-sided tape to the control box, and then we're gonna go ahead and mount it up underneath the dash here. In the glove box, behind the glove box I should say, there's a nice flat spot right here. It's actually the perfect size for the control box. So you can see where we stuck the control box up in there, and now we just got to get the wires connected to it and tuck everything up and clean it up. So we're trying to connect the power and the ground right now on the passenger side here. The power is easy because we're going to get it from the auxiliary switch wires that are right here. We're going to use the pinkish orange colored 15 amp one, but we needed a ground. So under the panel that you removed to take your doors off and stuff, you can see that there's a nice ground wire in there, but it's a little hard to get to. So we did loosen the panel up here by taking out a bolt and just kind of popping some of the clips out to give us more room to get a 10 millimeter in here to this ground. We're gonna loosen that so we can run the ground wire into there. So for the ground wire, we used a wire connector. What we did is we had a circle one, so we actually notched it because we are just gonna slide it down onto the wire here, actually behind the post for this ground wire. And then, so we put that on, and now Carlton's putting a little electrical tape around it just to make sure it's secure. He's just sliding it down behind the nut onto the post, like so, and then we'll tighten that down. Okay, so up in here you can see we've got all the connectors going up to the control box, all these different white connectors. There's the 4 coming off the controller. Right now we're using 3, so this is the extra one. So if I decide to use or run another multicolor light somewhere, I have an extra one to use. Because we did everything in series, we were able to save that one. So one of these goes to the back, one goes to the front lights, and then the third one's going to go to the grill lights, so that they'll all be able to be controlled from the same controller at the same time. Other than that, the only thing we've done here is underneath the footwell, using the factory supplied harness, we did connect to the kind of pinkish orange 15 amp wire. That's the power, which runs up and around to the control box to give everything power. We just got to button up things here.
Now we're going to show you how to set up the auxiliary switch. On your screen, you're going to go to Controls, Settings, scroll down to Auxiliary Switch. Make sure you're on 3. Now, for type, you want to keep it on latching because you want that to stay on the minute you touch the auxiliary switch number 3 button. So when you turn this on, that means, and I let go, it'll stay on. That's what latching is. If you do momentary, then when I hit the button and let go, it turns off. So we're gonna keep it on latching. Power source, you can have battery or ignition. We're gonna do battery because then when we're parked, we can have the lights on. Now we're all set. Now we have the ignition off, and I'm gonna show you how with the tap of the auxiliary 3 button, the lights come on just like that. And they look beautiful, front and back. So this handy dandy remote has a ton of functions. As you can see, all the color choices are here, and I just press them and it automatically switches to that color choice on Mo, which is so cool. We also have some fading functions where the lights fade in and out, or they fade quicker or slower, and there's a flash button like a strobe light. You know, so you could have a discotheque in your Jeep. I'm going to show you as we go through all the different settings and colors and buttons. First of all, the on-off switch. Off. On. We have red. There we go. Green. So I really like the green for obvious reasons. Blue. Yellow, and I like the yellow. It kind of looks just like the Mojito color. Magenta. Turquoise, and white. There's also a jump feature where it jumps from color to color. This one goes really fast, and it's only 3 colors. Red, blue, and green. The next one's just a slower jump, but it actually jumps through all the colors, not just 3 colors. And then there's like a plus and minus button that makes it go faster or slower with the jumps. You can use those plus and minus buttons as well for the fade, and this is what the fade looks like. And then if you really want to get crazy and have like a discotheque or Halloween type of a feel. Alright, there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, Shock Racing on YouTube. Please like this video and share it. And don't forget to like Mojito Jail Chick, my Instagram page.
I made her create her own Instagram page at Mojito Jail Chick.
Check it out.
I know you're already following Mojito Jeep. Make sure you're following hers as well.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.